Hey guys, welcome back. Today I want to talk about the cultural shocks I dealt with when I came to France. But before I do that, I want to talk really quick about my last vlog. I got a lot of great response, very touching messages from people who were so happy to know that it could happen to anybody. The recognition, but also the feeling that it's okay to feel how you feel and that you can do something about it if you want. My husband, on the other hand, got some messages from family and friends asking him, is Renee okay? Is there something going on? For those people, I just want to say, I'm fine. I am so happy and blessed with my life. I have a great husband, beautiful kids, and I feel good. And I don't want to change that. I just wanted to do this hobby aside. And sometimes I wonder if I could have just chosen another hobby, like horseback riding, because that would have been like way easier. But you know what? The easy way is not always the best way. So there you go. I think this vlog could be interesting for not only the people who would like to know more about the cultural differences, for the people who are coming to either France or another country, but also for the French themselves to see how it is from the other side. The first thing you should know when you come to France to live here is how to buy a house. Even renting a house. If you want to do that, good luck. It will be a long process. In France, they have a lot of paperwork for everything, and especially for housing. Even the French, correct me if I'm wrong, hate it. Let us just talk about only renting a house. For renting a house, the biggest problem is to find guarantor. Wait, I'll look it up.
Guarantor.
A guarantor.
Guarantor.
Guarantor. You cannot just get any guarantor. The guarantor needs to make 3 times the rent. So the guarantor needs to make a lot of money. Finally, we found not 1 but 2 just to make sure that the file will get through. And then they told us that the guarantor needed to be French. What? Are you kidding me? We just moved to France. We don't know anybody, and you expect us to find a French guarantor? I mean, come on! In the end, we did find a very nice person who was willing to do that for us. But just a little advice: if you come to France, you don't know anybody and you're not able to find a guarantor or find a house via an agency called immobilier, you can also try it particulier. People who don't do it by an agency do it themselves. You can always try it that way. The second thing is la bise. The first time I went to France was not with Ruben, was when I was 19. That was like a long time ago. I was a fille au pair, and a fille au pair, most of you probably know it, but for the ones who don't, a fille au pair is mostly a girl, but it could also be a guy, who moves in a family abroad, takes care of the kids, and at the same time tries to learn about the culture and the language. That's what I did in a little place called Long. And I was staying with a woman. She was adorable. She was like my big sister. She was separated from the father of the kids, so I stayed with her and her kids. She is a doctor, and she had to make long shifts and also during the night sometimes, so she really needed a fille au pair. As a doctor in a little town, she knew everybody, and I mean like everybody. So we lived in a town. To get some groceries, it was like a 5-minute walk, but when I went with her, we took like more than an hour. Why? Because she would say hi to everybody. And in the beginning, I didn't know anybody. And I didn't know la bise. So the first time I walked with her, and there was like a lady, very nice, and she said hi to her. And then she came towards me like this. And I was like, wah! I thought, like, what are you doing? I didn't know her, and she wanted to kiss me. I was like, why? Why do you want to kiss me? I like to kiss, like people I like. But I didn't even know her, so it felt so weird. And then when I came to Lyon with Ruben, I got like more confused. In general, it's 2 kisses. But in some regions, it's 4. And in other regions, it's 1. So sometimes you're like, wait, do I continue? And I even sometimes almost kiss people on the mouth because I don't know which way they're going. I'm like, where are you going? Oh, sorry. So I still think it's awkward, but maybe it's just me and I have to get used to it. Number 3 is one of my favorite topics, food. And I just love the way the French deal with food. In Holland, during lunchtime, we grab sandwiches very quickly in a few minutes, and then we go back to work. And for dinner, first of all, we eat dinner between 5 and 6 o'clock. And mostly it's aardappel, vlees en groenten. So that's like potatoes, vegetables, and meat. But then you come to France and it's so different. I mean, I really had to get used to it in the beginning. Now I love it and I couldn't do otherwise. First of all, dinner for them is between 8 and 9 o'clock. I mean, for Dutchie, having to wait for hours, it's crazy. My stomach was like making so much noise all the time. And to deal with that, I bought crackers, like lots of crackers. There is a thing for the kids when they come from school between 4:30 and 5. They get a goûter so that they can hold it till 8 o'clock. And a goûter, it could be like a little biscuit or even some fruit. For me, that wasn't enough, so I had like crackers. On the other hand, for lunchtime in France, they just take 1 or even 2 hours to eat. And then it's like a big meal with lots of cheese, with even wine sometimes, and their bread, of course. I mean, in the beginning, when we invited people, we forgot the bread. We learned from that mistake. That makes me think about the stereotype, like the French guy with the barret and the bread. It's kind of true. Okay, the barret, not every French person walks around with the barret. The older men do that. But the baguette, every French person has baguette. And especially with lunchtime, they eat baguette with everything. On the other hand, for dinner, as they eat a lot during lunch, for dinner normally it's not as heavy, especially because it's harder to digest if you have to go to bed 2 hours later. So normally they eat a little lighter in the evenings. And that makes me come to point 4, because apparently 10% in France is overweight. Only 10%, that's like nothing. And you would wonder why, with all their meat and the cheese and the bread, they enjoy their food. They sit, they take the time and they enjoy it. And because they eat heavier during lunchtime and lighter during the evening. That's the reason why they are not so fat. In France they have vous and tu. They have a hierarchy in life for everything. For example, you have the principal from a school, you have the teachers and the students. And the principal is the boss. So the teachers, when they talk to him, they say vous. Then you have the students never say tu to a teacher, never. Unless you're a foreign student and you don't know what tu and vous means, like me. Because when I was the fille au pair in Langres, I went to school and I knew what tu and vous was, but I didn't know to who I had to say tu and vous. I wasn't aware about the hierarchy. So sometimes I said tu to a teacher, and that's like a no-go. But fortunately, because they knew I was from another country, they didn't mind. But even the other students, when they heard me say tu, they were like, The last one is about movies. The first time I went to the cinema, the movies, I was so looking forward to it. A real movie in English, but apparently it was in version française, so that's the French version. Sometimes they do, but in general they just don't do subtitles. It's with a voiceover. The first time I saw it, I thought, oh, that's so weird to see, I don't know, I'm just saying something, Arnold Schwarzenegger with another voice. The mouth is not moving at the same time as the voice. I was like shocked. I thought, oh, I want to go away. That's one of the reasons in Holland I think people speak English. We just subtitle the movies. I talked to a girl about it. I said, how on earth can you watch a movie like this? It's like not real. And then she told me that, for example, Arnold Schwarzenegger has its own voiceover person. And the same for Sandra Bullock. She also has the same person that does her voiceovers. So for them, they grow up with those people and the same voices. So for them, it's normal. But I still, to be honest, because I didn't grow up that way, I still prefer like the original version and just subtitle. But just that's my opinion. So that was it, and I just wanted to say, if there are other cultural differences you coped with being in my position, just let me know in the comments below. If you, as a French person, want to add something more or exchange some other experiences, also let me know in the comments below. I hope you liked my video. Thumbs up if you did, and subscribe if you haven't done that yet, and I will hope to see you soon. Hasta la vista, baby!